What's up guys, Sekapoko here, bringing you another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. For this will be my multiple team compilation guide for the Zero Stamina Luffy Ace Island, and I did it with 3 different teams, all 3 of which are completely different and do not revolve around any of their mechanics. So it's very cool, really like it a lot. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So for the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to go over a version 2 Doflamingo team while I do a fight overview and talk a little bit about the fight and give you an idea of what to expect on each individual stage. This V2 Doffy team is going to use the Sai Sugar. It's also going to have the Shiki as well as what's the other two? It's got the Raid Barto as well as the Diamante. The only one that has extra thing, they're all limit broken, they're all rainbowed except for the V2 Doffy, and my Diamante, no, my Sugar has cotton candies. So in this, you don't actually need cotton candies on that sugar, so just know that it's not like required on this team. So for the first stage here, we're gonna have Luffy Ace in the middle with the 3 little toad dudes in the back. You have to kill these 3 toad dudes in the back in the first turn, and if you don't, you're gonna need a toxin on you for 8 turns. On the first turn here, all your specials will be rolled for, by, I believe, 20 turns, but it doesn't do it for every class. It only does it for specific classes. I believe it's like Cerebral Fighter and some other ones. I can't remember what the other ones are. But on the second stage here, we're going to get Whitebeard, who's going to switch all orbs into block orbs and be immune for 15 turns. And Whitebeard's going to also have an 11-hit combo barrier. I'm going to be popping my Sugar special as well as the Shiki special to get full matching orbs, and then just auto attack all the way through. On the next stage, we're going to have Shanks, who's going to act just like Invasion Shanks. On the first right away, he's going to actually silence and paralyze your entire crew for 5 turns. So one of the 3 recommended characters to bring here is going to be what's his name? The Shirahoshi, the Dex Shirahoshi, as well as the Dex Nami. Another character that you can use is Limited Rare Bonnie here, so if you do have another character that is in a different team, that's another way of getting around this mechanic. For this entire forest, this entire place we're doing it, the really weird mechanic is that we're gonna have increased strength, quick, as well as meat orbs the entire time, which is actually really good for this team because that's full matching orbs every single turn because of how V2 Doffy works, and that's why one of the reasons I picked V2 Doffy for this time. And then Sugar gives meat orbs matching for the entire team, so that's really, really helpful. For 2 turns here, we're just going to go ahead and eat some damage, and then we're going to pop our Diamante special on turn 3, which is going to allow us to stall out the Paralyze. We're going to try to get as much damage as possible in early on here, just to do a little bit of damage to the Shanks. Just know that you can do as much as you want to, and then you're not actually trying to kill him, you're just trying to get a little bit of extra damage in here. Now, you do want to make sure that you have at least 11,000 HP before you go for the final kill here, because you do want to make sure that you can survive his hit, because you're not actually going to die. You're not going to actually kill him right here. What you're going to do is you're going to actually just do a burst turn with your just full matching orbs, and then just going to go ahead and auto attack him, as doing much damage you possibly can. You should get him pretty close to death, but below 40%, he's going to enrage as well as get an end of turn percentage cut on you every single turn. So you can, if you don't kill him in the first turn and get him below 20%, it's okay. He's just gonna hit you once and then enrage after, so it'll be perfectly fine. On the next stage here, we're gonna have the 2 turtles in the front, and the blue turtle will enrage after a certain amount of turns. This Sai dude in the front will knock out one of your characters, and so will each one of the guys in the back. So if you have to make sure that you kill them, 1 guy per turn, so that they do not knock out your guys. I don't know if the red turtle will enrage after like the 5th or 6th turn, but the blue turtle does enrage. And what I did here was just kill them as quickly as I can, and of course take a little extra time here to kill the final 2 guys. Note that before you go into the next room, you're going to be wanting to pop the Sugar special in order to get yourself a nice little orb boost, so that you can bring that into the room. The next room, if you didn't know, we're going to have Cavendish, and Cavendish makes it so you can only use 1 special. So just know that you will have to be using some kind of special that is a double boost, like Invasion Cavendish if you wanted to, but I couldn't really find a way of using Invasion Cavendish on my team because of the block orb mechanic we have on the Whitebeard. So that's why this team is structured the way it is. Going into this next room here, you can see where we're going to be popping the Sugar special. I made sure I had full matching orbs before I go in, and any meat orbs we get are going to be automatically matching, so we're totally fine there. And going into the next room here, we can attack, and we make sure we're guaranteed to get our orbs. And then the Cavendish room, who has about 5.3 million HP. So you're gonna have to do enough damage to kill him 1 turn. He's also gonna heal every turn as well as having increased damage every single turn. It does about 11,000 damage on his first hit, and you have to kill him in 1 turn, otherwise he's gonna put a damage cap up, and in the following turn put up damage reduction. So it's a lot like Invading Cavendish, where you have to kill him in 1 turn, otherwise you get in big problems, but you can only use 1 special, so it's a little tricky. So you only get that special buff for 2 turns, and then when we kill Cavendish, he's just gonna go down, fall over real quickly. It's not super difficult, but you do have to make sure you have enough damage. And the thing about this team is you actually do kind of want to have as much damage as possible, and the sugar candies actually help out just enough here so that the next room is really easy, because what we're doing is getting enough overkill here to actually kill the Garp in the first turn. The Garp has about 6.2, 6.1 million HP, I believe. Somewhere in there, I think it's like 6.2 million HP, it's maybe 6.1 million. I'm not actually sure how much. You can see we did 3.2 million there, and it was just over half his HP, so I think it's about 6.1, 6.2 million, or maybe 6 or 5.9, but somewhere in that range of HP, so you have to make sure you do just enough damage to make sure you get the overkill damage, and you'll be able to get lots of damage. At the end of the turn, what happens is that he's actually going to give you anti-healing for 16 turns, as well as lower your HP by, I think it's like 80%. And one of the things that really helped out being rainbowed here was I was able to get all the anti-heal removed because I had a full rainbow team. Then we're going to use the Barto special to heal back up and do a little bit extra damage. And if you do not have the limit break buffers on this team for anti-healing, you're going to have a much more difficult time on this team. So it is definitely a pay-to-win team because of the anti-heal part of the strategy. That part I didn't really like, but here's the damage cap hit we're going to take from the ace, I think, which is, I believe, about 60,000 damage, and that's going to be reduced significantly because of the Bartolomeo. So that'll leave us a nice little extra HP, and now we have about 5,700 damage to go. If you didn't want to use the Bartolomeo and you want to use somebody else, I don't really know any driven paralyzed removers that you could use that also increase your damage enough to kill this guy. So you will have a little bit of a harder time to do it without that. I'm not really sure what you could use. Raid Barto seems kind of like an essential unit. And the nice thing about this whole place is that you had an increased meat orb rate, so it makes it so that you can actually just heal up the whole time there. And because you have all these the anti-heal sockets from your entire team, you're actually able to remove the anti-healing effect. Makes it really easy to get through. So Diamante has, I believe, -3, and then the Doflamingos have 5 or so each, so that allows you to get a little bit extra. And then I believe Barto has some as well. So I think Shiki, I'm not sure. One of the other units has one. I'm not sure if it's Shiki or Sugar or whoever. But definitely very helpful to have a lot of rainbowed units here, and it definitely lowers the amount of time here. I don't really know if you could do it without rainbowed units with this particular team, but it's definitely really, really tough. After the first turn, Luffy doesn't do anything at any percentage until, I believe, 20%, but I haven't actually seen what he does at 20% because I didn't really want to risk it, and I don't think anybody actually did a test to see what he does under 20%, but if you have, just let me know if he does like a death hit or something like that, but he doesn't do anything below 50 or such, and the nice thing about this team is that you get tons of meat orbs because of the meat orb increase rate, so you're able to just take your time here. And you can see I got a lot of meat orbs, and this is not just 100% RNG. You actually you get these meat orbs naturally like this. So if I had only gotten like 2 meat orbs here, I probably would have had a lot harder of a time, but it's definitely a little RNG. But the thing about these kind of 0 stamina islands we only do once or so, it's a lot easier to do. It's a lot easier to do these kinds of teams with inconsistency because you only have to do them a certain amount of times. You don't have to consistently farm it. And this is just a team that you can use if you do want to do that. So it's not my favorite team of the day. This is definitely my least favorite team of the day, and that's why I only ran it once. And I did each team once because it could. But we take our time here, and then all we're going to do is when we're on our burst turn, we get him really, really close to 20%. I could have gone for the kill early on this turn here, and I probably would have gotten him, so it would have taken one less turn. But I had an extra turn here, so I decided to take it and get as much healing in as I could. And then we get him as close to 20% as possible, do an extra 400,000 damage here, and then we're going to go all in with a Doffy ship burst team here. And we even missed an orb at this final turn here, so we're just going to go in and do all the damage, and we're done. Some notes on this team. The final notes on this team is just make sure you have enough the limit break sockets to get this done with this team, otherwise you're going to have a very, very tough time. You can see boom, 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 and we are all done. The next team we're running is a Franky team here with the brand new G4. And the big thing on this first room is what we're going to do is make sure we get enough meat orbs to trigger our Gear 3 special. Make sure you hit a perfect on your Gear 4 every single turn and try to waste all your other orbs just so you can try to get meat orbs. Every meat orb you get really helps you out, so what I do here is just hit a perfect and then hit greats and goods and stuff until I can get a lot of orbs back. And then you can see here I get at least one meat orb, so I'm just going to hit a perfect and then a great on the meat orb and get to the next room. On the room with Whitebeard, I'm going to switch over to my Gear 3 and I pop my Brook special as well as my Pedro special, and that allows me to do a little bit extra damage here. And in the Gear 3 mode, we were able to do enough damage to kill the Whitebeard. We do about 5.6 million damage with the barrier and everything, so that's really great. On the Shank's turn here, what we're going to be doing is once you get despaired, you actually go back to Gear 2, so you won't be able to get that extra meat orb chance. But he's going to hit you once, and then with fully open, you're going to try to switch over to Gear 3, and then try to switch to get some meat orbs. Do as much damage as you can, get rid of as many orbs as you can on this turn, and then going to the next room here, you see we get, he's going to shuffle your orbs. Now, all you need on this team to succeed is one meat orb, and if you don't get that one meat orb, just reset like I'm doing right now. And once you reset the game, he's going to shuffle your orbs again. All you need is that one meat orb. You're going to switch over to the Gear 3, and then you're going to use the Franky captain action in order to reduce the damage, and then eat the meat orb in order to get your damage up. And most of the other runs I did today, I was able to get the Gear 4 up as well this turn and actually have the Gear 4 to reduce damage. The next turn, we're going to also pop the Daruma special on that turn with Franky to get rid of the Paralyze, if you didn't notice. And then we're going to pop the Gear 4 special on the following turn in order to get enough damage. And we'll also use the Nami for extra burst. Going into the next room here, what we're going to do is, since we still have the special here, you'll pop the Franky special. This is just so you have enough damage in order to clear the room. It actually is a kind of annoying room if you do mess up, so this is just to help you out. And you can use the Franky special again later on, so just note that you could use him at a different stage against the Garp, so you will be able to do him there, but you will have enough time to stall for the Franky special to come back around. Now in this next part, what we're going to be doing is just stalling out on this next dude and using the Gear 3 in order to get a lot of meat orbs to heal back up. The purple guy is going to knock out one of your characters, and the nice thing about Franky is that Franky's going to lose his captain ability, which is a good kind of double-edged sword, but it's actually really good for this because you'll actually do almost no damage and you'll be able to get rid of every single orb you're going to be using in order to get yourself those nice meat orbs. Then when you're finally done stalling on this dude and getting all your meat orbs in so you can make sure you get your tankman as well as not die, you're finally going to go ahead on this final dude and just go all in and make sure you get rid of as many meat orbs as you can and do as much damage as you can in order to kill him. Now, meat orbs here are not going to be considered matching, so you don't want any meat orbs going into the next room, so make sure you switch over to Gear 2, going into Cavendish. Now, on Cavendish, what we're going to be doing is switching to the Gear 4, as well as using the Pedro special. And also, if you have to pop the Franky captain action here, it actually is a little bit, it's 50-50. You can either pop the captain action here, or you can pop it on the final room with the Luffy. Luffy Ace, totally up to you on which you prefer, on what you think you're going to have the damage for. You can even pop it on the Garp stage if you're really kind of worried about the Garp damage. And we're going to just go all in on here, and we have just enough damage with the Franky captain action in order to kill him, about 6.83 million, so that's great. Going into the room with Garp, you can see we have the Franky special up again. We're going to be popping the Brook special, the Franky special. You can pop I recommend popping the Brook special first in order to make sure you get matching orbs, and then you're going to pop the Luffy special in order to get some damage. Make sure you save the Daruma special, and then we're just going to go all in. Make sure you attack in the correct order, and we have just enough damage to kill him. We have about 5.8 million damage, plus the 10% HP cut, plus the Brook damage, plus the Luffy damage. Then going into the final room here with Luffy and Ace, we're going to be popping the Daruma special to get rid of the paralysis, and then pop the Nami special in order to get a 2x orb boost as well as a 1.75 color affinity boost, and that is actually just enough damage in order to kill the final boss. You can see what we do about at the end here. We're doing about, I think it was like 8 million, 6.6 million damage with his team. If you have Franky, it's a little bit more, so that's great. And the final team we're running here is going to be a Lucy and version 2 Rayleigh team, running this with the Shirahoshi as well as the new Pedro and Raid Kuma as well as version 1 Doflamingo. On this first stage here, which is really interesting, Lucy actually does not get his special all the way up. So what you're going to have to do is make sure you kill all the guys in the back and then take a hit. Now what's really funny is you were going to take a hit anyways, you just make sure that you're going to take a hit. And the other thing you have to make sure is that you actually cannot bring the Lucy ship because you'll actually have too much HP. Too much HP is actually a problem, which is really weird. But you want about 32, 33,000 HP, maybe even 30,000 HP in order to get through this without any issues because you want your HP threshold to be much lower. You want it to have have less HP, not more HP, because the cannon guy actually has to do enough damage to get you below 30%. And you're actually playing with your HP this whole time. And you bring the Sunny Shape just in case you screw up and get really a lot of bad meat orbs. On this next stage, Whitebeard, we're going to be popping the Doflamingo special first for a 2x orb boost. Then we'll be popping the Pedro special for type boost, as well as the Kuma special for orbs. I know it's a lot of specials, but it works out. And we do about 5.6 million damage to the Whitebeard. Going into the next room with the Shanks, what we're going to be doing is popping the Shirahoshi special in order to get some nice healing, as well as get rid of the paralysis. And it makes it so that you're just below the HP threshold, and he actually gets rid of the healing buff, which is actually what you want here. Then you're going to be popping the Rayleigh special for an orb boosted chainlock, as well as the Lucy special in order to give yourself enough damage to kill him. Again, going into the next room, we are going to have the Lucy special up again, and what you're going to be doing is killing the turtles as well as the guys on the side, and then just killing all the guys slowly over time. You'll actually have enough damage here. You can see just to like one-shot the turtles, and then try to kill as many guys as you can. Now, the big thing here is you want to make sure you're going to heal here. This is where you're going to start healing and trying to get as much healing as you can. You don't want to go too much healing. You probably need about 2 to 3 meat orbs here, and don't want to eat too many meat orbs. After the knockout here, you're just basically stalling for specials and just chilling out as much as you can, not doing any damage. You can see I'm doing very slow damage to this the purple dude. And depending on how much HP or how many meat orbs you have, or how much healing you have, you want to make sure that you do not heal too much or not take too much damage. You can see here I'm actually at too high of HP. I'm noticing I'm actually a little bit too high in HP. So what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of all my orbs and see if I can get a meat orb or 2. So I got 2 meat orbs here. No, a meat orb here, so what I'm going to be doing is I see, well, I got 2 meat orbs left. Well, I guess I'll heal with both of these meat orbs, take a hit, and then I'll get low. Now, if you did want to like play around a little bit better with your HP, this is why you bring the Coded Sunny Ship, in order to make sure that you can actually just play around the percentage of HP and make sure your HP is low enough to get to the next room. Auto heal is not your friend here as much as you think it is, which is really weird. But on the next stage, what we're going to be doing is popping the Pedro special in order to get orb boost and type boost. And this actually, with Pedro Candied, has barely enough damage to kill this. And it's 5.2 million damage. It's super, super close, as you can see. And then going into the Garp stage, the Garp stage can give you all block orbs, which you're going to get rid of with the Doffy special. Pop the Doffy special, and you pop a Lucy special for type boost, and then Kuma to switch your orbs. If you do want to use a different block orb manipulator, it's totally fine with you, but I'd recommend Kuma because, you know, it worked here. Then we're going to be going all in on the Garp, and you can see we do about 6.1 million damage, which is also kind of a barely. And then going into the final room here with Luffy Ace, we're going to get our orbs shuffled. And then you can actually just continuously try to shuffle your orbs to get perfect orbs here. But we're going to be popping the Rayleigh special for orbs and using the Shirahoshi special to make sure we get a full matching orbs on our other team. And then we're going to be using, just going all in with orb boost, type boost, and chainlock. And it ends up doing about 8.8 million damage to this, so it is way overkill on the final room. But that's the entire run with a Rayleigh and Lucy team. So if you do need that, there you go. Alright guys, well, my name is Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you smack the like button down below, as well as the subscribe button down below, so we get lots of support in the channel, and of course, keep the channel growing. If you guys do want to get notifications on all my videos, make sure you hit the bell notification right next to it so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Peace.